The cost of credit bankruptcy, a revelation from American homeless. Siefing. In the powerful and affluent United States, there are approximately 600,000 homeless people wandering around, with most of them living on the streets in miserable conditions. While there are many factors contributing to homelessness, one of the biggest reasons is the bankruptcy of most homeless people's credit. Once credit is bankrupted, it is recorded by the U.S. judicial system. Finding a job or renting a house becomes almost impossible because companies and landlords primarily check individuals' credit histories through the federal government's network database. If there are credit issues, new companies will not hire and new landlords will not rent to those with credit bankruptcy, leaving most people with no choice but to wander the streets. In a rule of law country, once credit is bankrupt, the consequences are dire. People may not realize that the management of the universe also follows the rule of law. This rule of law is Tao, which, similar to the U.S. judicial system, meticulously records everyone's integrity. This mechanism is known as divine punishments, though slow, are always sure, with big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through. Why does the Life Genuine Guide repeatedly emphasize to its members the importance of honesty? Why stress the need for everyone to speak the truth and keep promises? Why emphasize better to lose one's life than to break one's word? Because integrity is the fundamental of being human. Without fundamental, proper way will not appear, and without proper way, life cannot endure. More importantly, without integrity, one can never expect to reach heaven through cultivation, as heaven never accepts those who lack integrity. People need to understand that in some places and at certain times, those who break their promises can still obtain material wealth and respect from others. People can cleverly evade the punishment they deserve for not keeping their promises. But let me tell you, when you feel pleased with yourself for deceiving the public, for deceiving those involved, you have already fallen into the devil's web. You belong to the devil's clan, and the animal world and hell are your future destinations. If a government's credit is bankrupted, the people will no longer trust the government, and other governments will not engage in substantial exchanges with the bankrupt government, leading the country into chaos. If a company's credit is bankrupted, the company will inevitably go bankrupt, without a doubt. If an individual's credit is bankrupted, their future path will be extremely difficult, with virtually no bright prospects. So, everyone, you must honor your commitments and be extremely careful not to let your credibility become bankrupt. What if you break your promise? Heaven will not forsake a person who sincerely repents, who is willing to undergo self-reflection, and who earnestly seeks to rebuild their integrity. If you break your promise, you must willingly accept the consequences, without blaming the divine, others, or anyone else. Receiving punishment is certainly a good thing. If you are not punished, it is a bad thing, as punishment indicates there is still hope. If there is no punishment, it signifies there is no hope left. People, you must remember, only those who uphold their promises have the hope of reaching heaven. Those who do not honor their promises and do not repent have no chance of heaven. What is credit? In simple terms, it means keeping your word, as in promises must be kept, actions must yield results. In a more complex sense, it means adhering to contracts and fulfilling agreements. At a higher level, it means conducting oneself according to the principle that the sum of positive and negative energies must be zero. Once promises are not kept, contracts are not honored, and the principle of the sum of positive and negative energies being zero is violated, it constitutes a breach of trust. It is a case of credibility bankruptcy.